All right. So,
And speaking of movies without sauce,
let's get into our next review here. A movie that all of us have seen, and it's going to be for the film Argyle. I am happy that this movie finally released and it's
Mhm.
out in theaters. Why? Not because I'm
stop,
excited to
so we
see
can
it,
stop seeing the fucking trailer.
because I've seen this trailer almost in front of every movie I've gone to
Oh my
see
God.
last year, like going into the theaters. Like this trailer's been playing, so they've been marketing this shit heavy with this movie. So, what is Argyle about? So, Argyle, you have Bryce Dallas Howard who plays Ellie Conway. Ellie Conway, who is a writer, reclusive writer, and she writes a series of trash. Well, I don't know if I mean I guess she's pretty successful. I don't know if they really say
Mhm.
they're trash in the movie, but
Yeah,
it
it's
seems like
it's fairly
They're
successful.
trashy.
Fairly, they're kind of on the same level of like a of like
airport
a J-
novels.
yeah, like a Jack
Yes.
Reacher book.
Like, who's the dude that
Mm,
does all those, like, what's his name? James
Oh, James
Patterson?
Patterson.
Like,
yeah.
kinda like, I guess, something like that.
Mhm.
Like, she writes kinda those espionage type books there. And turns out that a lot of her books that she's writing mirror what's going on in the real world, what's actually happening, real life events. And, she does have a spy that, comes to her, and that of Sam Rockwell, who plays Aiden in this, who goes like, "Hey, we need you to write the next chapter of your book," because she's having writer's block right now. Because hey, it turns out a lot of these guesses that happen in your book turn out to be right. They turn out to be correct. So you have people hunting you that want to know the next chapter of your book
Mhm.
and get more information there. So yeah, globe trotting spy type adventure that you have here with this. Very much, think of a lot of movies like Romancing the Stone, for instance. Mousy kind of woman teams up with kind of like a
Mhm.
badass, macho kind of figure here, like Sam Rockwell is. Also, this being a spy espionage movie also takes plots and themes from other spy movies, like most,
Mhm.
Born Identity. You'll see in here. You'll see
Mhm.
that. Night and Day is something you'll see in this movie as
Yeah.
Oh
well.
yeah. Night and day.
Yeah, Night and Day is probably the biggest comparison that I have to this movie, except you know what? Night and Day was actually kind of fun.
Yeah. Tom
Yeah.
Cruise and Cameron Diaz actually had chemistry, and it was kind of fun. And Tom Cruise would just give you that smile and flip
Mhm.
on a dime, and it was really fun.
Yeah.
It knew it was
Oh,
being playful.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
and yeah,
oh, go ahead.
I posted a review of this movie on my TikTok, which check it out, TikTok and Instagram, all that at Night and Day Nick. And I was needless to say, I did not have a good time with this movie. It reminded me so much of those kinds of like very like cheeky, very tongue-in-cheek spy action movies that Matthew Vaughn is actually really good at making. Like stuff like Kick-Ass or stuff like X-Men First Class that is playing harkening a lot to kind of the Roger Moore era Bond, or even the first Kingsman movie, which that is one of the best action movies of the 2010s.
Mhm.
And seeing this, it is making me question every single movie of his that I have liked in the past.
Mm.
Yeah. What about you, Dust?
Uh, I'm kind of right there with you, actually. I I said once upon a time I called myself a Matthew Vaughn fan. I'm like, yeah, no, I liked
Yeah, I
Lock and
like him. It's
Barrel.
like, yeah,
Snatch was
yeah.
fun.
He didn't direct Lock, Stock, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you
he
know.
was a he was a writer and a producer on that. He helped
Mhm.
write Snatch. He
He,
directed
yeah,
the first Kick.
he
He
guy
directed the
Ritchie did
first Kick.
Snatch.
Yeah, directed the first Kick Ass, which
Yeah.
holy shit, you made a Mark Millar book actually like tolerable.
Yes, and then he did the and then he worked his
Again with Kingsman.
yeah, exactly. And then he did X-Men First Class. I love X-Men First
Yeah.
Class. And so
Except that one little plot point that I'm sure was a
sure.
studio note.
Yeah, basically. And a few other things. But yeah, and then I actually really enjoy Kingsman the Secret Service, except sort of kind of the end. It gets a little wobbly, but I still enjoyed all the way through. It's good. It's and then every single thing he's made since then, I've been like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's a down it's a downward slope of a once very promising talented director that should go in the history books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, with this movie, and you may look at the trailer and then you're like, man, all-star cast. You know what I
Oh
mean? You
yeah.
got Samuel Jackson, you got Bryce Dallas Howard, you got Sam Rockwell, you got John Cena, you got Henry Cavill, you got
Ariana De
Brian
yeah, Oscar winner Ariana DeBose, John Cena.
Bryan Cranston is in here. But a lot of these people are just basically it's extended cameos. Because a lot of stuff with Henry Cavill and John Cena,
Yeah,
and
they are in it for a total of 5 minutes.
because they do this thing where she kind of goes back and forth between her like writer
Yeah,
vision
yeah,
and
she's
then
kind of yeah. It's like during fight scenes, it'll cut in between with Sam Rockwell and Henry Cavill, who is kind of like the spy persona that she has made up.
yeah, he's the main character in her series of books. This and then John Cena is his like IT, man in the
His sidekick.
his sidekick, the man in the chair type thing there. I'm surprised actually there's one scene when they're in the van. I'm surprised they got their two big asses in that van together. I was surprised. I was like, that's some CGI for your ass right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. The real hero of this movie is the tailor for Henry Cavill because that jacket was about to rip apart every time he moved.
Yeah. But yeah, and the same thing kind of with Ariana DeBoy. I mean, they're only in the movie for a little bit. And that's also the same thing with like Dua Lipa, who, she's in this. This is more of
Yeah,
like an extended
all
movie.
all over the marketing. 5 minutes in.
Yeah. So if you're expecting to see a lot of them, you won't get a lot of them in this. If that's what you're expecting. So they kind of I think waste them. That's also another thing, really waste of talent that you have here in this movie. And Matthew Vaughn as a director, I think he's still got more hits than misses. I think, I like what he did with Kick Ass. I like
Mhm,
what he did with Kingsman Secret Service. I like what he did X-Men First Class. I think X-Men First
mhm.
Class is maybe top 3 best X-Men movie.
Yeah.
There, some people consider it maybe top 1.
Mhm,
The best one. He also did Layer Cake with Daniel Craig, which was one of his very
mhm,
first things, which I really like
mhm,
quite a bit. Then I think the only ones I really dislike is the Kingsman 2. I don't like that one.
mhm.
And
The King's Man is kind of in that same camp of just baffling,
Yeah.
but there are some really cool stuff in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Kingsman I don't dislike as much as Kingsman 2. I
Mhm.
think it's better than Kingsman 2, but I still think it's like it's okay. It's all right.
It Saved by Ralph Fiennes and the
Mhm.
Rasputin fight.
Yeah,
Oh, and also like the silent fight in the
Yeah.
trench warfare where both sides are trying to not like shoot their guns off.
Yeah.
yeah. And you bring up the Rasputin fight, which yeah, I mean also a thing about you know Matthew Vaughn movies is
Mhm,
he's gonna create a really fun action sequence. Even if the
mhm,
movie is not even that good,
mhm.
it's gonna
Yeah,
look fun.
he was a very frequent collaborator with the late great Brad Allen, and a lot of that influence is felt in a lot of his action set pieces. Because
Yeah.
Brad Allen was the first Westerner to be a part of the Jackie Chan stunt team, so he uses a lot of that style in crafting fight scenes.
Yeah, the creativity here of like mixing the dance moves with that, like this was really fun. It was really inventive. It's just that now when you see, because he tries to do a lot of the same things here in Argyle of
Mhm.
like setting the action sequences to music, which I won't say that's all on Matthew Vaughn. I mean, people have been doing that in action movies. They do that a lot, set action sequences to music and everything.
Mhm.
But it just doesn't have the same, I don't think, punch as it does in his other things, or in the action sequences here. I don't think, or that's not even gonna save this movie. Dust, what did you think about Argyle?
Uh, I've always like the lead character is played by Bryce Dallas Howard, and I've always liked Bryce Dallas Howard.
Mhm.
I've liked her all the way back. We're going way back to one of her first appearances when the M Night Shyamalan The Village, which,
Ooh.
despite all those flaws, I still is a somewhat enjoyable movie. Despite unfortunately
Mhm.
knowing what the twist is,
It
it's less enjoyable.
Yeah, The Village is fascinating because it's a great movie if you take out the twist.
Yeah, yeah. Once you kind of know that, it loses a lot of its power. But I think she did a
A
great
lot of it.
job.
Try all of it.
Yeah. But that being said, I've always liked her, and they kind of dress her up, try to do the best to dress her up as frumpy. But I think she still does kind of a cute job as being this as mousy character, and then slowly this adventure. And it has Sam Rockwell. I mean, I've always loved Sam Rockwell, so
Mhm.
he's just a great actor in general. But these two just cannot save a just not very well written movie and a not very well
Mhm.
done movie. And that CGI cat, man,
I already don't like cats.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I
She's carrying around in a backpack, which I've seen. It
Yeah.
happens more than you think.
Dude, I lived in Japan. Those were like very
Everywhere.
commonplace.
Yeah, everywhere.
I thought that the cat, I mean, as big as it's being featured, I thought the cat was like going to play a role in the story. Like the cat on his collar was going to have like
I thought it was
The
gonna
cat,
be
the cat,
Argyle.
the cat was the real Agent Argyle.
I thought it was actually. I thought the cat was gonna be the agent. Is the actual spy, and they were using subterfuge. I was thinking too much. I was thinking too hard.
You know what? It wouldn't have been any dumber than anything that happened in this movie.
Yeah, yeah. This movie is the script is all over the place. It's very simple, but yet convoluted.
Yeah, and we'll get into this when we get to the later thing that we talk about. And you can have it's like sometimes in a film, especially one with this kind of like very hyper stylized visuals, sometimes a simplicity is the best route to go, because when you keep your story simple, you can play around more with the visuals, you can play more around more with character. But this movie, it has so many twists and turns that if you stop to think about it for longer than 3 seconds, your brain is going to explode.
Mm.
And I was just sitting in the theater, just completely baffled. I was like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Matthew Vaughn, it seems like, what was good about the first Kingsman movie was that it was kind of harkening back to the old school kind of Bond movies. It combined kind of the dumber elements of Bond and then the cooler elements of Bond and kind of put it together in a nice package.
It felt like a Roger Moore era Bond movie from a director who also wanted to get down and dirty in the gutter a little bit.
So I very much appreciated that, and it had a good amount of fun in it. And I think he hasn't been able to replicate that again. In things like even Kingsman 2 and then the Kingsman, which is not really trying to be like the other kind of Kingsman movies, trying to be a little bit more serious there, I guess, in a sense, or well, not serious, but it has a different vibe and a little bit than the other ones. And then even with this movie, Argyle, it's kind of also trying to have that and just misses the mark badly. And yeah, I mean the writing is really not good at all in this, and it's not funny. The chemistry between Sam Rockwell, who I love Sam Rockwell as well, I think he's a great actor. I love to see him and stuff. Between him and Bryce Dallas Howard, it's just not there. It's just not there, and you need that, especially for a movie like this, if you're going to have them, palling around for the most of the movie. Raymond Venturi said, "I like the first Kingsman, but even that felt a little derivative of Kick-Ass to me." You see his bag of tricks. I mean, I think with Matthew Vaughn, you do see kind of his bag of tricks of what he does.
You see the bag of tricks, but he used to be able to be very good at that bag of tricks.
Even something like in Kingsman 2, the same thing. A fight scene here, but it's the Prince's Let's Go Crazy. But this fight scene is really good. It's a really good fight scene.
It's well choreographed. It's incredibly well shot.
No way are you that?
Yeah.
And it's constantly escalating.
Yeah. And I don't feel like there's nothing in Argyle that even comes close to this. Which is a shame. And they try to do that, like you maybe see in the trailer, there's a scene where it's like all these like smoke grenades that go off and they shoot it. It's like that doesn't really look all that good.
It looks awful.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a very common thing because I think this movie was produced by Apple Original Films, and I think it was supposed to go straight there, but Vaughn secured a theatrical release for it, and you can tell.
Yeah, and this budget on this $200 million. Don't know where all that. I guess that just must have went to the talent to get to everybody in here to show up, because I was like, it's not in
certain areas, CGI shots.
It's not in the look of the movie, because when they go to these globe-trotting destinations, like they go to London.
It's kind of amazing that Expendables 4 looks better than this.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Sorry. Yep, I threw up in
take
my
that
mouth.
out of take those words out of your mouth.
I threw up in my mouth a little as I was saying it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that, but I don't think that looks that bad. But it is like they go to because part of like a spy movie is you get to go to these locations and see like, hey, it's London and Paris and you get to go to Greece and you get to go to Italy, or that's part of the fun of it. And if it's just like a lot of times they say these destinations, like, okay, it's just a green screen background. That's what
you're literally just shooting on the volume.
Yeah,
right
that's pretty much it. Um, is there anything really that enjoyable about it to you guys, or anything at all?
Um,
Nothing? Nothing, Dust?
yeah, I got nothing.
Yeah, man, I've seen them in better movies. I've seen better movies. I've seen the premise. If I wanted to watch the premise of a spy who or an author who gets into misadventures and deals with stuff, I'll go and watch Castle.
Shit,
Castle?
or even a movie that this is kind of reminding of, The Lost City, with
Yeah.
Oh,
Sandra
yeah.
Bullock and Channing Tatum, which was actually fairly charming.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
was gonna mention Lost City was a big surprise. That was kind of like a big surprise.
Lost City, Night and Day.
Yeah, but this actually had good chemistry between Sandra Bullock and
Mhm,
Channing Tatum
Yeah.
that worked really well. This was and the writing of it was funny. You had some really good
mhm.
funny moments in here that worked, and this kinda it had a similar premise,
Yeah,
author.
you had a villain who was kind of pathetic, but also that feebleness kind of made him all the more threatening. And Bryan Cranston is not that here.
Yeah, he's just bad guy. He's just generic bad guy. Like, all this movie.
This feels like a role he would have taken prior to Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's no depth, there's no complexity there, I mean, it's not even really even funny in, like, him being a bad guy or any, like, fun lines. It's just kinda like he's just barking orders. He's just bad guy. That's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lame duck of a movie. I mean, that's all
Mm.
it is. I can see why it was originally kinda pitched to go to streaming. Maybe they decided to go against that because they're like, "Well, hey, we got big name talent. We got
It's like,
Henry Cavill.
shit,
We got."
wait, Dua Lipa's album just hit platinum? Put it in theaters.
Yeah, and she's like I
Yeah,
said,
that's
she's
right.
only
She's
in the
she's
first
in
bit of
there.
it. And they don't even use the same song from the trailer that's in the movie. They use a totally
Yeah.
different song in it, which I like that David Bowie song. It's "Let's
Mhm.
Dance" by Bowie. They don't even
Yeah,
use
Let's
that.
Dance is a great classic.
Hey, the rights to that is expensive, and they
It
blew
is.
that's where the $200 million went. That
Oh,
was
Lord.
just to buy the rights for the trailer song.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, anything really that good about? I mean, the action scenes. I think at least I was like, well, I'm not hearing good things, but at least with a Matthew Vaughn movie, I'm gonna get some fun action scenes, right? No, I mean that's not even really that good
Yeah.
in
The
this.
sauce is gone.
So that's not even all that good. The characters aren't that fun in this. So yeah, I mean, overall, I just kind of would give it a skip it.
Mhm.
That's it for it. On teetering on kind of maybe a burn it for me.
Mm.
Damn.
What about you, Nick?
So, like I said before, I was a huge fan of Matthew Vaughn off of a lot of his earlier films, stuff like Layer Cake, X-Men First Class, Kick-Ass, Kingsman, which is one of my favorite spy action movies of the 2010s. And be the guy responsible for those movies and then to come out with Argyle, a movie that is so lacking in any sense of fun or intrigue or even intentional campiness or any semblance of sauce. It's kind of incredible. And I would have been more forgiving of this film if not for the very final moments of it, to which I had to fight back the urge to yell at my theater screen, "Oh, fuck you!"
Mm.
Oof.
Yeah,
Um,
I cannot think of a single thing I liked about this movie. This it always angers me when it feels like a movie is wasting my time, and that is what I'm giving this. This was a waste of film for me.
wow.
It's kind of amazing that I've already found 2 movies that are gonna be on my worst of list in January.
Damn.
Waste of film. Wow. What about you?
I I didn't hate this movie like my man Nick over here. I didn't have it in me to hate it, though I understand. Though I understand, I just
Like
didn't
that
have it in my heart.
you're like that fucking Chris Rock bit of, "I'm not saying he should have killed her, but I understand."
But I understand. Yeah, pretty much. But I get it. Yeah, there's just nothing here I haven't seen before. I mean, some of the actors and actresses I'm happy to see, but I've seen you in better stuff. You're not really given a lot of material. And as much as I love Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard, they're just there's a whole lot of nothing. It I mean, good for Sam Rockwell for getting into shape. Good
Mhm.
on him. But if I'm just going
And
to
and props to Bryce Dallas Howard for appearing,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
her fine ass self.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're cute as a button. But yeah, man, if I'm going down to just like happy to see the actors get some work, we're down really low. So this is a pretty forgettable. Unfortunately, despite all this, I've seen better work by Matthew Vaughn. So I've seen better work by him. I'm disappointed at this work. I don't know if his hands were tied. I don't know if these were things that we were forced on him by Apple or whatever. But hey, them's the breaks. Yeah, this is below average. This is definitely a skip it. I didn't hate it, and I usually say burn it for hate it. Like if I loathe something or I feel as if it is an insult to cinema itself, it's a burn it. Or if it just made me so angry, that's a burn it. This, nah. This is a forgettable movie. Or else it would be if it wasn't for the ending. But even with that, I'm like, just skip it. I'm gonna forget about you.
Yeah.
Until the end of the year when I have to make a list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we didn't like it, but we did have a person who did really enjoy it.
Oh.
Scott Menzel, he loved it. He said Argyle is a blast from start to finish. Matthew Vaughn ditches the blood and violence for color-filled action sequences instead. Henry Cavill is so damn charming, as is Sam Rockwell.
This
But his
motherfucker got a pair of that Apple Vision Pro on his doorstep.
But is
Damn
it
right he
incredible Bryce Dallas Howard, who absolutely steals the show? Can we also talk about how refreshing it is to see a beautiful, curvy woman in a role like this? Argyle is destined to become a cult classic and a great way to kick off 2023.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Did Apple's dick taste that good?
This is like when James Gunn spent like the entire 3 months leading up to the release of The Flash just singing its praises. That I'm guessing was a contractual obligation.
Yeah. They're like, Scott, you gotta say something. Get in there.
Look, we'll give you the next 3 iPhones for free.
Ooh, three iPhones. I won't do it. Fine, we'll give you the new VR headset. I'm in.
Fuck.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
I'm in.
Wow, that was glazing hard. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I will agree about the one part with beautiful curvy woman. And yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
that is the only thing I agree with.
Sure. For a little thinner, but hey, man, they ain't nothing against thick. Nothing about a little thickness, a little
Coward.
curves. No, I don't like curves.
Coward.
Yeah. So, waste of film from Nick, skip it from Dusk, and a skip it from me as well for Argyle.
At least I never have to see that trailer again.
Yeah.
Yes, be done.
Yes, I'm officially launching the Argyle trailer support group.
Oh, Lord.
All right.
We're not gonna say that.
Yeah, we can't. We probably can't say that. We'll have to censor that.
What I said we can barely get away with. We're not gonna say that. Read it at your own risk.
It wasn't fair to have gone like.
Right.
How am I gonna segue into this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
That's how Uncle Ben died.
Oh no. Oh no. You know what? If Sony had their way with the way that the Spider-Man 2 kind of went, yeah, I bet you they would. They would have like Uncle Ben died that way.
No, that would be a 2024 Sony decision.
True.
This was 2004, back when they couldn't fuck around with these superhero movies like that.